Noel. Let us shed our Christmas stockings, and we shall try to be of good cheer. As we've slipped the party's offerings, to share, nay, sip each other's tears. It is beneath the comforter's sheets that you may impart for me to hear. The tiniest of whimpers will I meet with a kiss and pull you ever near. As children we will whisper things of aspirations lofty and things mere. I will tickle you with little sayings. It's then you'll make it oh so clear that on this very holiday's eve, it is with me you wish to believe. Yeah, see, that's as close as I can get to happy. That's as close as I can get. I can't get. What's that? Partridge Family, come on, get happy. Oh, the stuff that's in your brain. That's as close as I can get to writing happy poetry. Even now, as of late, as I seem to be, I feel as though I'm in a happier disposition generally, overall. Even now, if I write, I gravitate towards that. As a musician friend, I'm congesting pretty good. As a musician friend said to me, write about what you know. So I find that I tend to gravitate towards writing about the darkness of human relationships, things of that nature. Yeah, so that would be an example of as close as I can get to the watermark, if you will, of shiny, happy people, REM. I smoked my clutch today in the GTO. Acted a bit of a fool. It's a manual transmission, but the car is so Frankenstein, it makes so much power. I'll smoke it. Oh! She didn't catch fire, but yeah, that's. I leave the house, I spend money. It seems. I really need to try to stop leaving the house. It hurts in one way or another, either in my wallet or in my heart. Today I kind of got a dose of both. And both of them I asked for. Yes. Guilty. Guilty by commission. That doesn't take away from the fact that it hasn't been, the best of days for yours truly. But it does go back to, look at that, by my own hand. By my own hand. So yeah, if I can figure out a way to not leave the house, I mean, I can start some projects. I got one in mind I want to do. I live in the flight path of Andrews Air Force Base. And I'm apparently in a good flight path, because there are many a night that I will see them coming well from the south. I'm looking out my living room, and I can see them coming well from the south, and also directly opposed from the north, which is about where Andrews would be on the compass, standing in my kitchen. It'd be due north. Andrews Air Force Base. So I've thought about, just for the giggles. Do you like the way I censored myself there? I can't promise you it's going to go through all the way through this thingy. How far? Oh, we're good on time. So I'm thinking, like, I could get one of them scrolling LED banners and put it on the roof. Even though I live in a forest, I have a small clearing all the way around the house, a small yard, front yard, backyard. So good visibility, especially during, the leafless time. Probably see it in the dead of summer too, really, at night. And I thought about having something scroll across it like the American flag, and then like go USAF, United States Air Force, and then the proverbial ellipsis, the ... and then F blank 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 Army. Just to get a wing wag, okay? That's right. Now that's going to any length to get a like, okay? You Facebook users, you want to get a like. I could get a wing wag. That's where the pilot takes the craft and makes it wiggle, okay? From a B-1 bomber. Because I'm telling you folks, there have been nights I stood outside because I see them coming from the south, and I'll go out in the backyard and I'll watch them come over the house. And then I'll hear them come over the house. And could you imagine that? You're getting a wing wag from, say, a B-1 bomber or something like that. It wouldn't really be a wing wag. It would be a whole, because I think they're like, aren't those, if they're still in service, aren't those like flying diamonds or something for their stealth shape? You get a whole body wag. Yeah, man. Or you could have the police at your door. Yeah, that could be. I guess that could happen in this day and age. Yeah, I've had a really, really rough day. I just don't want to. Well, let me not beat around the bush. Here's where I feel I'm at right now as I start to make noises on the table. I'm sorry. Here's where I feel I'm at right now. I've mentioned before that sometimes I believe the God of my understanding will say, hey, you know what? Fielder's choice, as they say in baseball. You can throw the ball to first to get him out, or you can throw the ball to third to try to get him out. It's a fielder's choice. And sometimes I feel like God behaves that way in my life. If I've asked him about something, taken a sitch, and I don't get no answer, I'm like, okay, maybe this is one of those, teachable moments or something. I should probably tread lightly. Stop banging the table, dork. Sorry. I'm in this position and I've touched on it before, but it's just so, it's tearing me apart. And that's why I keep coming back to it. I'm wrestling with it. I find myself in this position where I am now capable of being a father to a child. I'm capable, I believe, in most all ways. And now I am old. And over the last few years, stop, don't be banging that butt, boy. Or I've been a divorcee, whatever, an eligible bachelor, whatever you want to call it. I've had more than one young lady present herself to me. The only thing missing in my life is a tomorrow. I have no child. So, I'm reminded of the story, I think, that we're taught in like AA, and you may have heard it in other, venues where the guy is crying out for help, and the God of his understanding sends him help like 2 or 3 times, but it's not help the way he wants it, or the way he's expecting it, and he rejects it, and the man ends up dying from the situation he's in as he's crying out for help. And he sent help like 2 or 3 times, and but in a way that it wasn't comfortable with. It's like, no, it's not the way I want the help. And he rejects it. And again, to reiterate, he dies. So, as I've said before, the God of my understanding, I know, knows me better than I know myself. He knows my wants. He knows everything before I know them. And so I look at these younger women that have come into my life over the last few years that hold the keys, so to speak. And I kind of like the temptation of the rabbi in the wilderness, where the shadow comes to him and lays out all the kingdoms of the world, and says, bow down and worship me and I'll give it to you. I can bring something like that to the situation with these young women. As I said before, I've wowed them just because I've lived. And so I find myself wondering, well, how many more life preservers are you going to be thrown before you get the one that suits you best somehow, or suits your taste, to save you from the ocean, the roiling sea? I've been accused of thinking too much.
guilty